What is up, you guys? And in today's video, I'm going to tell you how to find high-paying woodworking clients. Let's dive in. All right, well, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the podcast. I'm your host, Zach Vaught, and per usual, I'm super glad that you're here. I hope that these videos are helping you grow your woodworking business, change the way that you think about some things, transition from being just an old woodworker to being a business owner. And so that is the big transition that we all have to walk through if we want to actually make money with this trade, right? So when it comes to finding high-paying clients, there's a couple principles I want to give you in today's video that are so important. And this was a massive shift for me and changed the way that I did business, okay? And so the number one thing that I want to just start with when it comes to finding high-paying clients is evaluating your environment, your sales environment, okay? The first place I ever tried to sell anything in my woodworking business, I went to a flea market. So let me ask you this question. Generally speaking, not always, but generally speaking, when you go to a flea market, are you trying to spend a lot of money or are you trying to find a deal? You're typically trying to find a deal. Also, when you go to a flea market, do you see Range Rovers and G-Wagons and Lamborghinis in the parking lot, or do you see old beat up trucks in the parking lot? You see old beat up trucks. So generally speaking, again, I can't perfectly stereotype this because there's not a one size fits all here, but generally speaking, people that don't have a lot of money that are looking for deals are at flea markets. So am I going to find high paying clients at flea markets? Generally not. This is not to say that you can't, but generally speaking, the answer is no. The next way to think through this is let's talk about Facebook Marketplace. Are wealthy people scouring Facebook Marketplace? Not always, but generally, no. Most wealthy people are not scouring Facebook Marketplace trying to find things. And also, if you're on Facebook Marketplace, you're usually trying to find a deal. Okay, so again, not to say that you can't sell expensive things on Facebook Marketplace. You can, and in fact, I'll even say this. We have clients that are doing 15 to 20 grand a month through Facebook Marketplace right now inside of the Woodworking Business Accelerator program, right? So it is truly possible to make a lot of money through Facebook Marketplace, but generally speaking, you're not going to find super high paying clients there, okay? All right, woodworkers, I've got a challenge for you. It's called the 5K in 30-Day Challenge. Join the Woodworking Business Accelerator program, follow exactly what we teach you to do, implement the systems, the processes, the sales scripts, and if you close $5,000 in new custom furniture sales in your first 30 days, we're going to give you your program fee back. That's right. You will have literally built a business growth system for free. So why would I do this? Well, because I would rather actually put my money where my mouth is and win only if you win than just asking you that you should just simply trust me. So if you're ready to build a business that funds your life and not just your hobby, this is your chance to build it without any risk. Check it out, link in the description below. With that, let's get back to the video. Now, where do wealthy people shop? If wealthy people are going to buy something, where are they and where do they do it? They're either buying it from reputable websites online, they're either walking into a department store and buying it, or they're working with a professional like an interior designer to buy it. So that is super important to know. Your environment will determine the buyer. And so when it comes to selling really high ticket, expensive, solid wood, handcrafted goods, you need to be looking at and really heavily evaluating, am I in an environment that is conducive to selling to wealthy people or high-paying clients? Again, I want to disclaimer this whole video with saying that is not to say that you can't sell expensive goods at flea markets and you can't sell expensive goods on Facebook Marketplace. But what I am saying is that you need to be transitioning to becoming a more prominent brand that is well known. This is constantly the thing I'm pushing on and teaching and talking about all the time, is that you have to develop your brand. And the more developed brand that you have, the more that you're going to attract high-paying individuals. So with that, how do you do that? Well, number one is you don't sell from your personal page in your Facebook Marketplace and you're at the flea market, but you create a legitimate business page. You sell as the business, you post as the business, and you run ads as the business. Well-known reputable brands run ads. If they see an ad from your brand and it's a beautiful photo and they go to your page and it's well developed, you got a bunch of reviews, you're posting consistently, a wealthy person is much more likely to trust that they could give you $3, $5, $6, $8, $10,000 for a custom dining table set or custom cabinets or whatever, and that they're going to get what they're paying for. right? And that is one of the big things you also have to understand about high paying clients. There's a certain, I know this is even crazy to say and crazy to think about, but there's a certain level to wealth and there's a certain level to money where whether I spend $8,000 or $11,000, it really doesn't affect me. I know that sounds crazy. So then it becomes about service and quality. Wealthy people want exceptional service and they want exceptional quality, because when you're poor, you have no money, you got a bunch of time, right? Well, when you're wealthy, you have no time, but you got a bunch of money, right? So I want you to make my life easier, stress-free, and I want to get the best thing that I can possibly buy. I want the best that there is. So one thing that you'll notice about wealthy people, not all wealthy people, most wealthy people, is that they will save up their money and they'll buy a really nice, really expensive thing once, and then they're done. For example, like I like to hunt, I like to golf. I buy really nice guns, expensive guns, and I buy them once, and then I'm gonna have them for the next 20 or 30 years. I'm probably gonna pass them down to my kids. I went and got custom fitted for golf clubs, and I spent a lot of money on golf clubs, but I'm gonna have them for the next decade, the next 10, 15 years. Generally speaking, that's kind of how wealthy people tend to think, is they wanna spend a lot of money one time. They want it to be warranted and taken care of. They don't wanna stress or worry about it. So if you want to sell to wealthy people, get in the right environment and then also provide the right type of service, right type of value. This is why I wage war against you thinking you only can compete based on price. Wealthy people are playing a different game. Whether they spend $2,000 or $2,600 on a table, it doesn't matter to them. That $600, like truly wealthy people that are making $20, $30, $40, $50, $100,000 a month, they do not care about that $500, $600 difference. They want the best product. And you could have charged $3,500 or $4,000 when your competitor's charging $2,000 if you can clearly explain why it's worth the extra $2,000, right? This is one of the reasons that I just constantly wage war against, well, how am I going to compete with Joe Smo that's selling these farmhouse tables for $600? Because he's not selling to the right demographic. He's not selling to the people that you need to be selling to. He's selling to middle-class people that barely have enough money to live on, that are trying to buy a table and they're scraping together $600, right? We're not trying to sell to those people. We're trying to sell to the upper middle class and the upper class, right? And when you're selling to high-paying clients, you got to put yourself in a different environment and you got to offer value differently than the rest of the marketplace does, right? And so I'm just going to give you some examples here. Like there's guys that are getting paid $200 a haircut, $300 a haircut because they drive to the client, set up the chair, the client sits down at their home or their office and they cut their hair. That same haircut back at the salon or the barbershop is a $50 cut. Well, why is it a $250 cut now? Because I came to you, I made it convenient, right? I made it easy on you. And wealthy people value the convenience and the ease more than they do the price, right? And so you got to think about that kind of stuff. Wealthy people are not worried about price because they've figured out how to create enough value in the marketplace. They're figured out how to make enough income, kick off enough interest off their investments or whatever it might be, so that they don't have to worry about the same things that the average Joe worries about. They're worried about experience. They're worried about quality. That's really it. Hopefully this video is helpful for you. But if you have questions about this, I'd love to hear in the comments below. If you haven't liked and subscribed to the channel yet, what are you doing? This is the #1 channel on YouTube to help you grow a woodworking business. We've got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos here on YouTube and other resources. I've got a free ebook that you should check out. Again, it's totally free. You can click the first link in the description below. I've got a entry-level program for those of you that are just getting started, right? You're trying to figure out which product should I sell? How do I develop a brand? How do I take good photos? For those of you that are really trying to get started, I got a low ticket, low cost, low barrier to entry program that's going to help you really get started. That's the second link in the description below. And then third is the Woodworking Business Accelerator program. If you're ready to scale and get to $20, $30, $50, $70,000 per month inside of your custom furniture or cabinetry business, we're rolling out a cabinetry version of this. Be sure to click that link below and let's get on the phone and let's have a conversation, because I think that we can help you do exactly what we've helped hundreds of other guys and girls all across North America do. And so with that, as always, I'm so grateful for you. Love you. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.